Have you ever avoided a person because you had no idea what to say? Stayed silent out of uncertainty? Or maybe walked away from a conversation thinking, oh, why did I just say that? Or maybe you feel like no one understands you. Well, my friend, you are not alone and you're in the right place. Welcome to Breaking Bad Communication, where we challenge the habits, headspace, and hangups that keep you from being heard and understood. My name is Kathy Riley, and I'm the founder of the Clarity Code and your guide with over 25 years in the courtroom and another nearly 20 years as a consultant, trainer, and entrepreneur. This podcast is your real world playbook for mastering tough conversations, building unshakable confidence, and showing up with the kind of clarity that changes everything from boardrooms to break rooms to your own backyard. So put your seatbelts on. We're going to break bad together. And today I have a question for you. Has anyone ever told you to settle down, that you're too much? Maybe used their hands and waved down like shh, 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 and just told you to, you're just too much. So if this question resonates with you and it's happened to you, you're going to love this podcast. Because I got to tell you, in the last 6 months, that has happened to me three different times. And I believe when something presents itself multiple times, we've got to address it. And this is something that I addressed as a kid, and I'm facing it yet still today. I was told, settle down, be quiet. You're too loud. You're too much. Just in the last 6 months. And it's funny, the fascinating thing is these words didn't just hit me as an adult woman, they hit me as the little girl, that little girl still living inside. The girl who learned early that being accepted often meant being smaller. Smaller energy, smaller voice, smaller presence. I wasn't to interrupt. I wasn't to be dramatic. And don't take up too much space. Don't draw attention. So I learned to quiet myself. And over time, something dangerous actually happened. I stopped trusting my own voice. In fact, there was a moment in my life where that my silence almost killed me. During an ectopic pregnancy, I was in severe pain. I was literally laying on the ground in my own vomit. And I stayed silent. I waited. I waited for my safe person, my husband, to come home because somewhere deep inside me, I learned that my needs could wait. My voice could wait. And that I honestly should wait. And that moment forced me to ask a terrifying question. How many of us are dying in silence, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because we were taught that taking up space was dangerous? So today I want to talk to you about what happens when the world tells you that you're too much, when someone says, shh, and why shrinking yourself is never the answer. So here's what took me years to understand. When someone tells you to be quiet, smaller, less than, less passionate, less visible, less loud, less you, that reaction is often more about their comfort than your behavior. Let me say that again. The reaction is more about their comfort than your behavior. People will often try to manage what they haven't learned to regulate within themselves. Your confidence may trigger their insecurity. Your energy may confront a fear. Your voice may challenge the silence that they've accepted in their own life. And instead of asking themselves why your presence makes them uncomfortable, instead of going inside themselves, they ask you, they demand you, they tell you to change. But someone else's comfort does not automatically mean you're doing something wrong. Let me say that again. Someone else's discomfort does not mean you are wrong for taking up that space. Now, that doesn't mean we ignore self awareness, right? It doesn't mean we become rude or reckless or inconsiderate, right? We still pay attention to all of that. But it does mean that we stop abandoning ourselves just to make others comfortable. And when someone tells you you're too much, oh, you really have three choices. You really do. Those are the options: shrink, struggle, or stand. So, shrink, you can make yourself smaller so that others feel safer. You lower your energy, you stop talking, you soften your opinions, and you hide your excitement. You become small. And the problem? You've completely abandoned yourself to make someone else comfortable. You're not being you. Now, struggle is the other thing you can do. Okay. The second choice is to struggle, which means you argue, defend, explain, and you try to convince them that you're not doing anything wrong. But here's the truth: you cannot heal someone else's discomfort by betraying yourself. They have to do them, you have to do you. Their reaction belongs to them. It is not your job nor your responsibility to change them. And guess what? You're not going to anyway. It's an effort in futility. So, okay, those two things aren't really going to be healthy for you. So, the third option is to stand. And this is the choice that I choose now. Stand in who you are with grace, respect, and awareness. But without apology, my friends. You are the boss of your body, your energy, your voice, your presence. You do not need anyone's permission to be your fully authentic self, to exist fully. Here's what I find funny. I really doubt anyone is out there telling Les Brown or Tony Robbins that they're too much. Tell me that somebody has told them to settle down and go, shh. I don't think so. But yet, women especially hear it consistently. I see this all the time in the workplace. Women are told, we're too emotional, too loud, too ambitious, too confident. The translation? Your power makes me uncomfortable. Whether it's men saying it to women or women saying it to women, doesn't matter. The message is clear. Your power, you owning your worth, makes me uncomfortable. Now, in the last 6 months, three separate times, what do you think I did? The version of Kathy 10 years ago? Yeah, I would have stayed small. I wouldn't have argued. I would have just gone silent, and that's exactly what I did. But Kathy, the version today, I stood in my power. I am who I am. And honestly, I got to tell you, now that I recognize what other people are doing in that, and I still feel the pull and the anxiety and the discomfort because I know that they're feeling it and I'm feeling it. But now I look at them with a little bit of a smile and I'm like, oh, this could be fun. And I continue to be me, my fully authentic me with grace and respect and awareness. And I continue to be my positive, graceful, sassy self without apology. And I got to say, with a smile. And I cannot say for sure, but I would bet that if I had a mirror, the smile that I had on my face as I continued to make them uncomfortable might have been a little devilish. So that's when you are faced with those times, when you're faced with that challenge, when someone's telling you you're too much, you need to shush, you have three choices: shrink, struggle, or stand. And my hope for you is that you stand. So, my wish for you is this: stop shrinking to fit into spaces that require your silence. Take up space. Use your voice. Trust yourself. That because the world does not need a smaller version of you, it needs the real one. And the truth is, you're not too much. You're just being surrounded by some people who don't get you, they don't understand you, and they're not benefited by the real you. So you can change your circumstance. The reality is, they're very few and far between. So you be you. You are not too much. So that's all I have today. Be sure to subscribe and thank you so much for tuning in to Breaking Bad Communication. If today's episode sparked a new perspective or gave you a system or tool that you can actually use, well, that's the kind of conversation we're striving to have right here. Remember to be a powerful communicator. It's not about saying more, it's about saying what matters with clarity, confidence, and purpose. And until next time, remember, my friend, your voice matters. So keep showing up, keep speaking up, and tune in again so we can keep breaking bad together.